It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and we have wonderful guests. And I have a favorite guest on today, Miss Jenny Lee, and let me bring her on. We're going to talk about watching the water and pyramids, because things are happening with both of those. So let me bring her on as she is adjusting her camera. Hang on. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
There, are you good now?
Yeah, I'm good now. It just went ding. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay. Welcome. How are things been going for you?
Well, sleep hasn't been a friend of mine, so stay healthy. And you gotta kind of expect it with this activity that's going on right now anyway. In the world, and just feels like we're just rolling it out left and right for getting things exposed and things done, and we just got to ride it out.
Yeah. And I'm happy with what's happening, what I'm seeing. I mean, I know would be happier if it would be brought to the general public so they would know. They seem to be very sheepish about doing that. I don't know why. It's let them find out and get over it. That's all it takes.
Yeah, because there's they really don't have anything left to hide underneath. There's no rocks. There's no caverns. There's no place to hide anymore. They're pretty much exposed, and that's why. I think down in Texas, I saw it, and I don't know if it's true or not, but there's like 4 or 5 cops in a row committed suicide. I mean, you're going to see a lot of people commit suicide because they'd rather take out themselves that way versus being prosecuted or being in prison or having someone else in charge of their death. I'm just saying you're going to see a lot more of this, an epidemic of suicides coming.
All right. Okay, I don't know if you got a chance. Somebody's mentioning the show that I did on the other show that I did on water with the investigative journalist. I doubt that you had a chance to see it, but it was very interesting because she had found parallel water lines where the one line could be used to add things to the other line, and it could be an individual, a community, or a whole city. Pretty interesting. Anyway. Somebody mentioned it, that's why I brought it up. So you were going to talk about water. What you had some visions in over a year ago, correct? And
yeah, but they were the water has to do with an opening, and then they also show a pattern in the water that they so there was going to be a certain pattern that was going to create in the water too. So everything that has been hidden is going to surface to the top. Like I said, it's like plates or Rubik's cubes that we're going to shift. And so our history's going to start surfacing. And that's, and not in a 3D concept, more of a 5D concept. And so not only that, the way the water is going to shift, and I talked about how you're going to have these earthquakes, but then all of a sudden you're going to have water moving into the ocean, and people are looking where the water go, and then all of a sudden, they're showing me these bigger cracks in the middle of the ocean, and then water going down and then coming back up. So things changing that we're not used to on these processes that are happening. So that's the whole thing is water's going to do some different stuff that we're used to seeing. It's going to do stuff that you're like, how could this happen? How could water just disappear and then resurface and come back in? And I just believe that, like I said, they're saying it's like everything is like a pyramid under our earth, and these shifts that are happening like a Rubik's Cube are filling in and draining and resurfacing again. I always go back to the Tartarians and the way they built things and how things are, and then how the structure, the architect was much better than it is these days. And so our history is being revealed now on every front part of that. You're seeing it in your face. And that's the thing. So what do I see happening? I would say around Europe and all that, they're going to have a lot of water that's going to overtake certain areas and then go back out. And I just feel these big waves coming. I mean, California, I've already said, it's going to come in, it's going to take it out to sea, the cliffs and everything. It's going to take it out to sea, and then it's going to come back in again. So I guess, it's a hard reality to accept that California can be taken over by water, but it can. So these type of waves that are coming in, our whole world is changing. Our vibration of the world is changing. So everything with it is showing you that it's changing. So, I mean,
that's what's causing the earth changes, so to speak. Yeah.
Well, that, and I believe our history surfacing.
Yeah.
Finally
we'll know our true history, because all we've ever been handed was a bunch of lies.
Right. So
reset after reset.
Our history is like Spirit said, you don't know if you're on the top or if you're on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if we're in the waters above or the waters below. So that's the whole thing. Either it's going to drain or it's going to surface to the top. I'm just telling you that we're in these times, the end times of a new creation of the golden ages in this process. And that's what's happening. Nothing, and they say nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop it. So you got volcanoes, you got eruptions for earthquakes. It's not going to stop. We're exposing more pyramids. People are accepting that the fact that, and Gail, Jeep found it, but anyway, I was talking about these pyramids. Some of them that, I did the map all over where it had a bunch of pyramids, and then some of them they said that they could fly. They're always above. So not one pyramid does the same thing. But I also said that 3 together has a lot to do with working as a consistent pattern, having a compartment above, and then how energy works with 3s, with those pyramids. And all of a sudden, this stuff is starting to surface. And so I was talking about that for a while. And they can say as much as they want about the Art of the Covenant, that it's down in Florida. You can't get near it. I mean, if they did their history on the Art of the Covenant, you could not stand near it. A human could not stand right next to it. The activity and the energy that it has, you go back to the biblical times that describe it, there's no way. So there's a mirage going on. There's an attention span to keep you looking at one direction, because what I've visualized and seen, that is not the Art of the Covenant. It's not the way it looks. It's not the way it feels, and the energy of it. So,
what do you think it is?
oh, I think it's a demo of it. You know, I think they're trying to get you to look up the history of it, but that is not the Art of the Covenant. That is not it. And on downloads they've showed me several times, you know, and I know where that's going to end up, though. You know, it was always supposed to go back to the higher heavens, and being contained in that space again. So there's a lot of items that man wants to always control and contain, and they can't have it. And a lot of it was hidden. But the Art of the Covenant is not something that man can contain or have control over. It's just it's impossible with the way they describe it. So with these pyramids, there's spaces. When you see three pyramids together in a consistent pattern, there's either energy above, a compartment above. You know, it's just like looking at another dimension, but you have to look at it in a different way. So, and there's several videos I talked about this, you know, and so now it's just starting to surface, they're starting to talk about it. Well, you got the pyramids, you got the activity of the pyramids, you got the artifacts of the pyramids. I mean, they're everywhere. You're going to find more of them. But you're also going to show the activity with the pyramids that go with the ley lines. It goes coincide together. Ley lines and the pyramids. So, and that's what they showed me. And if you look at all the ley lines all over the world, and you look them up, and you look where all these pyramids are that you've seen so far, you'll see it yourself. So, at least they're starting to talk about this. At least they're bringing it to the surface. So, I mean, they're in
what about
the desert.
what's underneath those pyramids? That's pretty, I can't believe they didn't know that. You can show that little video if you want. Yeah,
I don't have one. Do you?
I can do it, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have to share my screen to do it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show it, or are you ready? Should I show it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a little bit about the pyramids and what's underneath them, a visual of it. So let me get it. And let me make this bigger. Okay.
So
pretty amazing.
Yeah, and everything is energy. When I did a remote viewing on, gosh.
It's like there's some kind of crazy energy going on behind me. I don't know. I don't have a green screen, but it's glitching back there, and I don't know why.
But yeah, I mean, I saw towers. There's towers in the pyramid like that for energy, and I've seen ones for Atlantis, you know, and there are towers that were tall and half in the water and then half out too. So that all this makes sense on certain levels because it was all energy. I mean, this is the hard thing that the people are going to have a hard concept understanding that we have to redesign our history. And I mean in the way of we have to throw those fake history books away, and you have to do a lot of research and pay attention to what's going on in the Tartarians and, you know, Atlantis, all that stuff, that when it happened and all that stuff. So the whole thing is our past had the technology, and we dismantled it because they wanted to enslave us. So
You know why I have some kind of strange noise. Do you hear a strange noise in the background?
Yeah, that's my dog.
Oh, okay. As long as you know what it is. I didn't know what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
It must be dragging something or something.
So now all the technology is kind of surfacing. And then this is what, like I said, you got to pay attention to the Holy Land, what's underneath all that. They got to uncover all that. They got to bring that history, you know, up too. So, I mean, you're going to see more of this stuff happening on a consistent basis. You know, there's so much stuff that's hidden. And now you see our lifetime, they kept it in the ground. They didn't say anything. They kept us dumbed down for a reason. And now everything's surfacing. And so you're having to look at everything on a basis of higher technology advancement, not just 3D, you know, how we see everything in the 3D taking forever. And I'm just talking about the concept of energy and all that stuff. It's everything's going to be more fast, more advanced. You know, Tesla, you know, all his technology was suppressed for a reason. You know.
Yeah, you didn't even hear about him in the history books.
No.
But that sure is a strange sound the dog is making. Anyway, Teresa says, I sure feel it getting laid out again, getting the message, recalibrating, cycle down, now plugging into divine matrix process in a priority sequence within. That's her experience anyway. So
exactly. So we're opening Pandora's box. Everything's getting we're taking off the bloody Band-Aid and putting it out there and letting everybody see. I mean, this is stuff that I'm addicted to revealing and looking at and analyzing. And I mean, Antarctica is another one. You know, there's so much hidden in those areas too. So, I mean, they have a lot of areas around this world they have to reveal. So we're just getting started in this process. Yeah. It's just making a lot of...
And it's going to be very interesting, I think.
Yeah.
How can it not be, you know? Heidi, all this talk about pyramids reminds me of my series Stargate SG-1. I have heard over and over again that series shows you a lot of truth. So that's a good one to watch.
Yeah, it is. I mean, things are changing. I mean, that's the whole thing. And then we're going into the golden age. So with this technology and everything else, it's going into the golden age. It's trying to show you where we're going with everything. I mean, the one, you know, if there was a time that I'm addicted to, it's the Tartarians. To pay, you know, to look at that history and understand what happened to them and how all that happened, you know.
They were very advanced.
Yes, exactly. And no one's asking the question, why did this happen? Why did we go back instead of going forward? You know, it's to enslavement of everything.
Yeah. I've read that we've been, the occupation started about 6,014 years ago, where this enslavement situation from the Anunnaki. That's just what I've heard.
Yes, agreed. Oh, good. But I also think the Anunnaki hid huge amounts of gold in the ground. And I don't think they took it all. And I think they intended to come back and get it. And I believe the Holy Land has a ton of it. And that's why they put a bunch of churches and piled a bunch of churches on it So we're going to see. It's going to be interesting what they pull out of the ground over there when they finally do it. So
yeah, I can't wait to see what's under the ground there. After seeing what's under the ground in Washington D.C., I can just imagine what it is in the Holy Land. Holy smokes!
right,
If that's the real and true Holy Land,
right. But there's just a lot of hidden treasures, technology, advancement, civilization. Because if we would have been exposed to all this, we would have been advanced by now. And we wouldn't have been enslaved, and we wouldn't be dealing with what we're dealing with right now. I mean, everything's changing, but now we have to rewrite history.
Yes. Somebody wants to ask this question. I know everybody is wondering, will we ever see any funds that they're
I think Trump has
being
already told you, and I've said this in a video. So I've been saying I want the guidelines, and the guidelines have to come out, but the door has to open. So when what he signed the other day is basically exiting the old system. They can't control it. They can't contain it. They can't have. There's no fraud. I already said that the quantum system, it's advanced. Normal human mindset cannot tap into it, cannot, bust this system down at all or corrupt it in any way. And that's what's happening. So I don't care if it's education, it's the banking system, everything that has to do with any type of transaction for money, they're going to be watching it. They're going to make sure it's on a fair basis, and that it provides for humanity. That's what's going on right now. So when they flip it, that's when the cabal's done. And it's already happened. But I mean, the new system that Trump signed in, and I think it was 2 days ago, that's the whole process. That's what I've been waiting for, the guidelines. These are the guidelines of each corporation, how they're going to get paid, what they can do, how the transactions are going to go through, how we can be safe to get our money. So they want to know about the money. Your money to get to you had to be secured first. They had to make sure that nothing was going to get in the way to get your money to you. That's the thing.
Well, don't we have to have a debt relief first too?
Well, this is the way I see it, is if you fund people, there's a calmness that takes over. They need something they feel secure that they have.
Yeah.
Then all that's going to fall anyway, because if you have that, you're going to take a breath back and you're going to be like, okay, I got money, I'm good. And then that's the debt system is going to be next. It's going to come down to the process. I mean, it was weird yesterday. I mean, it was for something, and one of the banks, and they made a payment, everything was fine, and they're like, well, we just want to check and see if you're okay. And I'm like, is this a fucking bank? What the hell is this? When do you care about how I am? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, really, since when?
Weird stuff going on, so I think there's things changing, all around us.
Yeah, it's just the only thing I see is that people they need to see more.
Right.
I really wish they would bring this out. I hear they're going to take over the media, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. It really needs to happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying with they're going to unplug. So they can't get plugged back in. That's the whole thing with this new process going on that Trump just signed with this, because there's no way they can do anything that's fraudulent on any process. That's the whole thing with this. And so the quantum system it's on a fairness level for humanity, and making sure that the negative ones, and even the government now, they have that thought in their head and just try to do something. It's not going to happen. Down to the medical. Let me put my dog up.
It's a strange sound that he's making with that, whatever he's doing. Just like I got this glitching in back of me, and I do not know why. It doesn't usually do that. I thought it was from the fan, so I turned the fan off, and it didn't stop it. So I don't know why it's doing that.
Well, it's just an unusual day.
Yeah.
So
Vibrations too
that
high.
whole system was on, what I heard was on fairness. That's the whole thing. And I did a drawing of the universal line and a quantum system here on Earth and a quantum system in another realm of that too. So that's the whole thing. Where, advanced technology, the thing is, this is going to make people fair. But you have to reprogram them to say you aren't going to get away with this anymore. So you might as well look at this in a fairness process, and that's what we're doing across the board. It's not going to change. You're not going to get away with anything. There's no backdoor to get in and try to scam somebody. It's not going to happen anymore. It's over. And that's what you're going to see that's happening. And when I say guidelines, all these corporations, if they want to get paid, the banks want to get paid, how the Treasury Department gets paid, all that stuff, it has to be 100% secured so people can get their money. Because you got to understand, the criminals we're going to take as many down with us as we can, and they don't want this. That has to be 100% secured for people to get their funding. The thing is the process that I see, a lot of people get checks, and that's not going to be the future at all. They're going to have to set up a different type of process to get that money and secure it a different way. So I mean, we're on the brink of different change coming in, and people might feel uncomfortable about having to arrange things for that, but they're going to have to do it because this is part of the future.
Boy, that noise is annoying. I don't know. It seems extra loud to me. That patter.
I don't know.
You hear it? Or am I just hearing it?
I don't.
Well, they're messing with me then. I don't know. They're really messing with my numbers too, I noticed. It's unbelievable. But anyway, here's a question for you. What does it really mean, the word Holy Land? Is it really holy, or is it a code name?
I think it's a code name. I don't feel it's holy. The only thing that the ones that in Jerusalem, there's waters of healing ponds underneath there for natural healing, but that'd be it. I don't feel that it's holy. No. I believe it's a code. I think everything's a code.
Did the sound just go away?
I don't know.
I think that was coming from that other video. Oh, wow. Okay. I was hearing it like mad. It was driving me crazy, to tell you the truth. And I closed down the account where I had showed the video, and then it went away. So, maybe nobody else heard it, but I was hearing it. Okay. So, Holy Land, that should be interesting. Okay, here's another question for you. What is the holdup for disclosure? Good question. Everybody's wondering the same thing. Do you know what I heard? And I'm gonna just throw this out there. You can respond then, Jenny. As I was told from a friend who has high military contacts that because they're using the war manual, the military can't step in until the people actually until there's civil unrest. That sounds kind of crazy to me, but I suppose it's possible.
I know, but I find that very 3D. We're in an advancement of the golden age, and it has nothing to do with the 3D. I think the system had to be secured. We can't be running anything in the old ways, and I don't think Elon Musk is the key to everything with that. And because I've been hearing this forever, you just got to wait for these change of these guidelines so they can get something done without someone coming along thinking it's going to get sabotaged. So I think they had a timeline. They have to get certain things done, and that's why they're going nonstop, but 24/7, this administration. So I don't believe that. I believe that peace had to be. I mean, you saw recently with Trump and Putin. I mean, peace was the number one, that there had to be no wars going on. So I believe they're trying to secure this quantum on everything. You're going to see it everywhere. It's involved in everything. It has to be pulling back the old system, unplugging it, and pushing in the new system. And it has to be secured. That's what I think it's about.
And they have to get all of the old system down.
Yes, and that's how they unplug it. That's the whole main thing. It has to be unplugged. So you got to look at these websites, these corruption websites, all they have, these donations for everything. If they unplug them, they're going to be gone in seconds. You won't see it. That's the whole thing. You want to talk about weaponizing, technology is weaponizing. If, Elon Musk has the green light on that. So I don't think it's as hard as we think it is. I think things are highly advanced in a different way. And like they said, this could happen completely overnight. I think it's already happening. That's the thing. I don't think it's like we're waiting. It's like it's already happening in the process.
Yeah. Well, people are, ever since Elon said something about 5,000, there's a lot of people out there hurting. They want to see that get released, and that could just be a first.
Well, I think it's more than that.
Pardon?
I think it's more than $5,000.
Lower?
More. It's going to be more than
okay.
$5,000.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it should be a lot more, really. But it could start with $5,000. There could always be another issuance, I would think. But and I agree with Kevin here that people want to see real action taking place. No more strongly worded letters, investigations, congressional inquiries, PR announcements, etc.
Right.
People want to see accountability for some of the things that they're hearing have been done, and they're not seeing it at this point.
You're not seeing it on the.
So they're going to create civil unrest by not showing people.
But I think
people made it very clear what
Cash just arrested, basically everybody he wanted to take down on his list. I mean, he's went after them, he's gotten them. So just imagine how it's going to be in 6 months. It's just they're containing. I mean, they're doing things they've never done. So, and these guys are working their asses off to get things done and taken care of. So,
people realize how big this ordeal really is. I mean, it's the entire system run by, has been being run by Satanists. I mean, it's just really
it's a hard thing to understand that that's the way it is. I'm getting allergies again.
But they would like to see some arrests. I mean, they're talking about arrests now, but people, and I'm sure that they have gone on, but normies haven't seen them. And
well, the normies, I don't know. They don't want to see them. Honestly, they don't want to see it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's out there where it's happened, but this is the thing. Everybody wants it done in a 3D level, but it's already happening. That's the whole thing. This is the thing that I think is after you clear out the bad guys and you get them out of the country, and then you can secure your country down the way it needs to be shut down for 3 days to get this flipped. You don't want to have any problems. You have to make sure that there's no, it's like a green light, but you have to make sure once it goes green and there's no problems going on. That's the whole thing. So we don't want the system to get screwed up. We got to make sure it's secured.
All right. I like this comment by Aaron's Energy. We can't rely on them for our inner peace and happiness.
Right.
Very true. Okay, let's see what else we got here. No, other people weren't hearing that sound I was hearing. And maybe I'm ascending. They're saying it's funny. I hope I'm ascending. I think I'm ascending. I don't know where I'm at, though, at that point. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so everybody says the sound is fine, so it must be just hearing it on my end. And it's gone away since I shut that down, that page down. Okay. I'm looking for another question for us. Oh, that's interesting. Somebody got kicked off of X. I'm happy you and Jenny are together regularly. They kicked me off X, so I have to catch you here on here now. Thanks so much. I can't stream to X right now either because I have to pay them $18, and I don't know if Rumble's going to work either because they want $25, or you can't do these lives, and that's one of the things I like the most about my lives is that we get all this audience participation, and I think it's great. So when I get the funds, I'll certainly pay for it, but right now I have to post it afterwards because I can't keep up with things. That's why I really do wish they would put those funds forward.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't so far, so let's see. And then there's the talk about the humanitarian projects and all that. Oh, here's a question. Let's see what this question is. Question: what is the purpose of the Black Pyramid under the mountains in Alaska? I didn't know there was one there. Do you know?
In Alaska.
Yeah, Black Pyramid in Alaska.
And first thing that comes with me was that alien. And I don't know, they're saying secured. And like to keep it down secured with that one. So, and I don't know if there's, and I mean, I get like a emerald green or a lime green color in those. And then I don't know, it feels like the coils of the power on that one goes different. So they have those.
Okay, this could
I
very
would be
well
looking for compartment rooms with those on that one too.
Christine thinks that the first 5,000X is proof to everyone that they're really doing what they're saying that they're doing.
Well, if you looked at the deck clock today, I mean, they're showing some changes on that too.
Oh, really? I haven't looked at it. What did you see?
Well, I mean, the XRP, they're showing the XRP going up. I mean, I said that's to me, the XRP, when it goes all the way up to a certain level of things, I already said that's like the ringing in the new golden age and everything else. So I think that's the party. I mean, because a lot of people invest in that, but it's a ringing in the golden age, and we're not looking back. So it's going up, and that's a good sign. So as that process of ringing the bell, ringing the golden age in, I said that's the key is the XRP. So when I see the XRP go up and it gets up there, I just need to see it going up higher and higher. And once that's up to a certain point, then they can call it. They need to.
Do you think we're going to see military tribunals on TV anytime soon?
Yes. I do believe that, but
this year.
Yes. Yes.
This year.
It doesn't mean people are going to turn their TV on. I'm just telling you. You see how these liberals are. They are in such denial on everything and narcissistic about it that they think they have a choice not to watch it, and not be a part of it. So,
well, then that's why it would be a good idea for them to do the what they call the scare event when they bomb the satanic sites. Maybe that'll wake them up. Maybe that's what they need.
I don't know. I mean,
going
that's the
on.
whole thing. I'm wondering if there's so many NPCs on here. I'm starting to look at that.
Exactly. You just read my mind. I was going there too.
The NPCs. I
beginning to
look
think
around
that's
and
what
go,
the real problem is.
there's a lot more here than we realize. I mean, their process.
Far more.
I mean, they grasp to certain information and have a reply of only certain answers. And when you think outside the box, or this is the thing that says, was asking, you know, about NPCs of thinking in their own mind and processing information on their own, you know, it's like, no, there's just certain reliable answers with that. And that's what the whole thing is. I think we're saturated. We're saturated in them. They're around us everywhere.
I heard 5,000 to 1.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's amazing because they are there to maintain the matrix. And it always reminds me of that one scene in the Matrix movie down the street. And he's talking to Neo, and the woman in the red dress walks by. And when he says that, is some of these people just are not ready or willing to be unplugged. And I think that's part of what we're dealing with right now.
So the thing is, when you look at them and you even ask them, do you want to think independently? They don't. They don't know how. They can't. Yeah. Because they don't want to. On top of that, because that's what they know is the end. So that's the whole thing. But it also resides with the spirit of the person. And you're noticing that too. So I think Trump was showing you that when he did his presentation, was it last month, and showed you all the demon Democrats just sitting there like demons and not responding to any sympathy, any empathy on any level. I think he was showing you, look, you think they're human? They're not.
No. Well, this is kind of wild, but I'm going to say it anyway, since we graze on wild ideas. There was a podcaster that was saying that Draco had actually gotten to the point where they were able to create an artificial synthetic soul. Of course, it's very limited and it's not anything like the organic, but it's enough to drive a what you might call a created body, or some people refer to them as the Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah. And so if they're able to actually do that, and they grew all these in these tanks under deep military underground bases, that could be why. I mean, how do they? Okay, the military must know that. So how do they expect to wake them up?
Well, what I saw, this is the thing with those NPCs and all that whole situation, is this is the thing. There's some cord connected to them. That's why I think with Elon Musk, that's why Spirit showed me, you're going to see them just freezing in the middle of the streets, and everybody thinks they're going to be human. I'm like, no, they're not. Just leave them alone, because they're not. They're not. And like they're telling you, the end is not for everybody. They're telling you. Because they're not.
What do you think they mean by that, Jenny? What do they mean when they say the end is not for everyone?
That everybody's not going because there are not souls here. There are programs.
I was afraid that was what you were going to say. Yeah. They're not real. They're NPCs. No. They're not going to go. And
I'm going to tell you, there's a lot, because I'm going to tell you, and I've talked to women, and I listen, and I do readings all day, and these women, and it's happened on the men's side too, but women are more boisterous on talking about it, but they're like, we're not dating people, we're not interacting, because they're saying there's something missing, there's a component missing with the soul. And I think they're putting that self out on the internet media, and they want you to interact with these, and so they can control you. But the women's are backing up, and they're like, no, we'll stay by ourselves and we'll do our own thing until they sense something shifting with them. But you feel like it's just a synthetic, and most women, they want the alpha male now. They're like, what happened to the alpha male? We're looking for them. They're hard
drag queen.
I'm just telling you, these little things are being noticed, and I think on the male end of two, they're seeing it in a different way. They're seeing the program on a female end that's I call them synthetic or NPC too. They're looking at us, so this isn't making sense, and people are finally talking about it. So
this is another whole area that they haven't even investigated yet, and this is going to be big, and I sure hope they include it in the investigations related to the courthouses and the racketeering that goes on between the cops, the courts, and
that's big. It's going to be huge.
That's so big. And also when they investigate the Department of Corrections.
Yeah. That's
we
another
incarcerate way too many people, and it's the only reason we do it's not because Americans are bad people and they need to be in jail. It's because it's a profit-making operation, and
not no more. They're not getting the money that they want anymore. Not the way they're going to get it. They're going to be watched. So,
well, I have to say, I was wondering why they were talking about building a new prison in this state, and I'm going, that's not 5D.
Well, what do you look? Well, but look at what they have to arrest. Look what they have.
I mean, need more places to hold people.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe they should let go some of the people that they've incarcerated under Admiralty law. Maybe that's why they don't want. Maybe that's why they don't want to let people go at this point in time. There's a lot of people are doing sentences that are ridiculous and it's all about making money. And the judge has equity, and so does the court. So
yeah.
And the person is actually viewed as the third person. You're not the defense attorney's first priority. The court is.
Right.
And there's so much for people to learn there, and it's so unjust.
Well, I mean, with the judge, Trump was showing you with the judge that they, it's in the media.
Look at the judge. Yeah, look what they're doing.
He thinks he was untouchable, and he was so damn corrupted and bought off. I mean, it was insane. I mean, that's not.
And these guys think they can stand up to the president. Yeah, exactly.
NPC. Yeah.
Yeah, people. I'm hearing a lot of complaints this way about the longer they draw this out, the longer the needle stress and unfairness continues. People Americans deserve to have some relief in some capacity.
Yes, they do.
Very soon. Very soon.
Yes, they do.
Let's see. No, I don't want. Somebody asked if I don't have any idea. Did the DOG Barbie Bondi make another announcement today? You're funny, Kevin. I don't know about this, Jenny. Do you? They saying that Ishmael Perez is saying that Greenland is going to be a new prison area. I don't get more.
No. No.
Okay. So you don't agree with him on that then?
Nope.
Mary's asking if anybody has seen anything on the media about the JFK files. I never watched it, so I can't tell you.
At first you saw it, but it seemed like it got pushed back, and that's the whole thing. They put something out there and then it gets pushed back. I mean, that's the whole thing that needs to be unplugged.
Yeah, they're going to release it, and then 3 days later they still haven't released it. That kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it's nuts how It's getting just squished down and ignored. Yeah.
It's they're going to cause civil unrest if they keep pushing it this way. We're going to have pitchforks and tar and feathers ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they're getting a lot of chemtrails in Michigan. There's a number of states that have passed laws that are forbidding geoengineering.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, they need to. And like I said, I still think they have some flooding to do in these Democratic cities to flood out the rats. So I think that's what's going to happen. So the weather, as it changes, we go into rain, you're going to see some flooding going and then pushing out because they have no place to hide. They're going to hide in the Democratic cities. Minnesota's a saturated, rat-infested place there.
Well, here, why is Trump praising the White House and D.C. and mentioned that we need to work with pharmaceutical companies? Very strange. Well, I never know when you see CGI that's the real Trump or something fake that's being said.
Exactly. So this is the thing, and I've been talking about what reality are we in? And this is the thing, because things are changing and you're starting to pay attention to things. So I don't think we're in one reality anymore at all. And that's what people need to ask themselves, that question. Because I this is the thing with me. Trump, the whole president thing is just, it's an icon to a certain point. But what's going to happen is we're going to go into a council. This government, the way it's been ran, is not going to be the future.
Not working. Not working for the people, that's for sure.
Phases. Yeah, April 2nd, I do believe there's something going to occur with finances.
I hope so. Anyway, okay. Okay. Oh, here's another one. Everybody's always asking about this, and these are supposed to be being released too. I read about many of them.
After the funding goes, within 12 to 24 hours, those will be released. See, this is the thing. Everything's going to hit at once. The money goes and everything else falls. Everybody won't be able to catch on to everything that's coming. So, and
oh wow, that looks like a
government
question from Rumble. Now we're getting questions. That's great. We just Restream just started doing Rumble, and we got a question from that. That's pretty cool. Oh, here. Here's another one. What is taking Pam Bondi so long to do all these arrests?
I don't really believe she's taking forever. I mean, Cash is catching them. They're maybe not completely prosecuted, but yeah, I think it's happening. That's the whole thing. I mean, because we're looking to media to tell us what's going on. Stop doing that. They have to get close to these people that are actually doing the job. And that's the whole thing. I believe everything is being done. It's just, where are you watching that information? And I'm just telling you, they're not sitting there not doing anything. Everything's in layers. So I do not feel that they're sitting back not doing anything. So I
think they're there in position to gut the system, and that's what they're in the process of doing.
Yeah, and that should be the focus. Get it done, get it shut down, and not allow the negative to have any access to anything.
Oh, okay. Jenny, do you think it's wise for a Canadian to file income tax?
No.
Thank you. I was hoping that's what you would say. Don't file your taxes. Don't pay the cabal. Don't give
Nope.
them something to work with.
Right. That's what they want.
And they're going to say, oh, you have to do that. And they're going to threaten and they're going to try to scare you into it.
Yep.
But I know what that's like too. So anyway, I get it. Let's see. Yeah. The natives are definitely getting restless. Yeah. How long? And if that's true, that's what it takes to get the military mobilized. So commence to being restless.
Big time.
Can we still look inward to look at? Yeah. That's really true. We still need to look inward and work on ourselves. They continually cause chaos and want us to get caught up in anger in order to turn as many souls to the dark as they can.
Exactly.
They just want to keep people's vibration down so they won't ascend.
They do. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's just...
And as we need to become energy masters where, okay, it's not like it's wrong to have, I mean, they make it sound like you can't even get anger. That's not even natural. But what you do with it and how long you hold it is what really matters. You need to transmute it as quickly as possible and have a, calm perspective on it very quickly, because it would be unnatural to say you never get, you don't have to deny all your emotions. You just have to control your emotions. Exactly. Don't you agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of realize that it just doesn't. It's not worth putting, I'd say, your energy into, because you're getting the same answer back. There's no sympathy, empathy, understanding, and all you're getting is narcissism. So just don't interact with it, because it's not going to do you any good. It's just going to wear you down.
I heard something when you and Miss Jeep did a show about somebody's asking, who has gotten any money so far? Anyone? And you guys had said someone had heard some senior had gotten something.
Yes. And that was on the East Coast.
Okay.
So that's a third person. I've heard 3 of them.
Oh, really? That's encouraging. But were they all on the East Coast?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I thought they might be going in alphabetical order, which means I don't know my last name. I'm way on the end here. If they're doing it that way, who knows? Here's somebody wants a confirmation from you. I've been commuting with an ET from Sirius C. Can Jenny confirm this?
Who's that? Soul
Flame 4444.
Well, the thing is that I'd have to see her face, and then I'd have to ask them on behind them. So it's likely, but I'd have to confirm with it in a different way. Especially right now, if you're getting different energy, doing it a different way.
That's a good point. Yeah. Maury, if all this is just a movie, why does everything take so long to effect an arrest or whatever?
Have you seen movies that drag out?
Now, that's what this is. That's for sure. This is a drag out movie.
I'm pretty sure all the actors are tired of playing the role. They're like, please fire me. I'm tired of this character. I'm over it. Can you imagine who's had to play Joe Biden? I bet they were so pissed off every day having to put that mask on and deal with that character. I'm just saying.
Those masks cannot be comfortable.
No. Not at all.
Well, somebody's asking, and I think it will, if she doesn't have a TV, will it run on social media? I didn't have one either, but they have one in this house, right in my room even. I just use it for my computer.
Well, I'm sure they're going to put it on radio too.
Yeah, and you won't be able to get any other channel, right?
I don't think so. They need to have it. most of us, a lot of us don't even watch TV. I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
what's on the news. I couldn't tell you
We're past
anything.
that. Same here.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the whole thing. And I think they know that too, that the awakened ones are not even watching the news. We do research and we go on X and we go on Real Raw News and we pay attention and read articles and stuff like that. We don't.
Yeah. And I get my information off the internet, which I know is flawed too, but that's all we got at this point. And if you dig enough, you can find some stuff. So, QFace says, boss signed an executive order yesterday for a secure financial system.
That is what I'm talking about. The guidelines right there.
Beautiful.
You have to secure it. You have to put out guidelines so people are not worried about something happening, someone taking their money, someone conning them, because you got to look at that, the amounts of money that's going to be put through those accounts. It has to have the guidelines of being secure, period.
I think this is a common belief right now. There's nothing that's going to wake anybody up at this point.
No, they're true. Even Spirit told me, just like at this point, don't just continue.
Waste your energy.
Yeah. NPC.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Will the government allow car manufacturers to put cars that get over 200 miles per gallon, as has been possible since the 30s? We're going to get all kinds of new technologies. Who knows? The cars probably might not even be the type of cars that
I don't think
we have right now.
Yeah. Pretty much air. It's going to be in the air, settling down.
We're going to be moving away from the fake fossil fuels. They're not fossil fuels.
Airplanes are going to be completely gone.
Isn't that even hospitals for the most part too?
Yeah,
really.
That too. Drugstores.
Drugstores, yeah, that are still pushing the shot. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
this is true. I think most liberals are NPCs. They're predisposed to. They are programmed. They are highly susceptible to suggestion.
Well, if you
they're there to maintain the narrative.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at them, they're just looking at you like, you have to accept my answer. No, I do not. And then they malfunction, and then they go into Trump deranged syndrome. I'm just saying. And then they don't make any sense at all what they're doing or what they're saying. Like I said, they only have a couple skills to pull information, and that's it.
Okay. I'm afraid that they will cease to exist. What do you say? What will happen to the NPCs, Jenny?
They'll stand in the street and malfunction, and then they'll lose these big body scoopers will pick them up.
It's not going to be pretty, is it?
Nope.
Here's another one. 30% of the population are NPCs. I think it might. I've heard even higher. So we don't know, but
I said there's only about 35% are humans. 35.
That's nothing, really. Well, turning it into numbers, which is even more frightening, if these numbers are true, and I'm not saying that they are, but they could be. If there were, this is what.
Well, you want to know who those are? They're the ones that didn't take the shot.
Yeah. This is why we want a constitutional republic and not a democracy. If it was truly a democracy, somebody wanted to take the shot and that was voted on, and all these NPCs voted, I don't know, I'd be very concerned about that. Because that's who took the shots. And some people say 5,000 to 1, whatever that figures, whatever percentage that works out to. But there's a lot of them. And who I mean, I didn't even know what that was, and only in computer games. I guess we're in a big computer game, huh?
Well, you look at what the kids want to get involved in the computer game and all that process. I mean, it's all there. And watch that go down when the internet goes down, and then they malfunction and they get mad.
Well, you know, here Q-Face said, I had a dream with Boss saying that we are 5% real humans. Could this be? Well, let me tell you this. This is what the figures that I got from somebody is there were 100 million here that 200 million starseeds came to help save, and not all the starseeds even woke up. So if you figure out what that percentage is for the total number that we have, that's pretty dang small.
Yeah, Spirit said that.
Real
they
humans.
said we sent many, but not all made it.
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't wake up in time. That's how bad the system is. That's poisoning us, brainwashing us, and so on. And people wonder, well, how come nobody wakes up? Well, more than half of them are NPCs, and there is no waking up.
Yeah, there is. And it's just at a point of coming to a peace with yourself and doing the work that you need to do. It's not your responsibility anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's this one saying? Yeah, so deep in the system that is their journey. I just don't want it affecting the big solar times coming.
I don't think it's gonna. I think there's gonna be a divide, and it's they're gonna go one direction, we're gonna go the other. We're gonna be ecstatic and happy with all this stuff that flips, and the energy alone is gonna make the world great, and you're gonna not be able to even touch our high when all this is happening, and then they're gonna be down in a slump and pissed off. We ain't gonna care. We're gonna be like, we're good.
Yeah. The NPC population fills the churches.
It does.
They're going to have to go. Religions are going to have to go down too. I'm sorry to say. Oh my God. It's coming.
That's a big one.
They have caused so much division amongst people. It's not even
I know. It's so bad.
Very, very bad.
It is so bad.
Okay.
So I mean that's the whole thing. You can't. You're not gonna be able to take us off our high with. And that's why I said, XRP is like that door that the Spirit has told me. XRP goes, and then it goes into. There's going to be instant, millionaires overnight and all that stuff. And then that's what the cabal never wanted. And then everything rings in. That's the whole thing, and that's what I've been waiting for. XRP. It's going up. It's going up. Please just keep going. Let it go. And then no matter what they do, they can get naked in an airport, they can get naked in a bar. The liberals, we don't care. We're just like, you ain't going to take this away from us. We're going forward. So
yeah. And Andromeda Daisy says, and this is, I see problems with it. I don't know how people that are married to NPCs will react when they don't function in the new Earth. I don't know if there's a memory wipe or something that happens that makes that not traumatic. I'm not sure. Do you have any info on that, Jenny?
I love
how that would go down.
I love one. So I just think it's going to dismantle. It's dismantling. Like I said, we're already getting these downloads of getting us in the stasis of when we leave and when we check out completely. But those ones are just going to be frozen in time.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had this kind of problem here already, just from the jab. If they're freezing and driving a car, that could be a problem. If you have a sudden death while you're driving a car, that's
don't be on a bridge with them.
Too.
Don't be on a bridge with them. You see that happening? You guys get out of your vehicles, start walking. I'm just saying, because it's all gonna malfunction. And there's been movies that showed you that. There's just all of a sudden everything freezes and it's done.
Okay, here's someone who's talking about, I know the native population has talked about this, waiting for the great and terrible day, the shaking. Now, I'm not sure if that's an actual physical shaking.
Well, we had it. Well, I don't know what kind of shaking, but last summer I was shaking and freezing with ascension stuff. So yeah, we already went through some of that shaking.
Oh, here we go. Here's a question for you. Would people wake up if the frequency changed?
No.
They keep us hypnotized in frequency, or they have a frequency fence, but I thought it was removed to disconnect us from
But
source.
this is the thing about waking up. I mean, the ones that are they're already awake. They're already, you can't wake an NPC up at all. I mean, there's only a 35%, like I said, that's gonna. And this is the thing. You want to know the ones? We're staying in our house. We're tired all the time. We're exhausted all the time. We don't want to eat the food or drink anything. We're analyzing everything. We're just isolating ourselves away from them.
Well, we certainly need this. The rising or coming of warrior spirit of the divine feminine. There needs to be a balance. It's been so out of balance, it's not even funny, and hopefully that's not that way in higher dimensions. Let's see.
Hold on one second. I'm just going to let her out.
Okay. I saw that one already. Let me move down further here. What's this one? The holdup for disclosure is Trump has had real threats against him and his loved ones. That's been going on forever.
Forever.
They have not left that man alone from day one. Yeah, ever since Hillary didn't get her way, it was just kind of amazing to see the reactions. Let's see. Bondi and FBI arrested top MS-13 leader in Northern Virginia, half an hour outside of Washington. That's just a small group of people, actually, that were probably easy to identify and find.
Well, they're arresting them. They're taking them in. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they did. I saw a whole load of them where they had them all they made them bend over, and they only had boxers on, and then they shaved their heads and herded them into a jail. Anyway, I keep seeing some of the same ones.
Exactly.
Okay, what is this? This is a tough question. Is American policy regarding tariffs going to dramatically affect Ireland and its economy?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be I think they're going to adapt it to a certain way. They're not wanting to impact them. I mean, they're trying to help them too. So I think, each country's going to have it in different ways. It's not the same across the board.
Yeah, it's getting closer. Canada is going to be a state. I think Greenland's going to be a state. And then we're taking back the Panama Canal, because we built it.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing? I didn't know this. I don't think most Americans know it, that we've been giving more money to every country on the planet, but not our own.
And that's
You know,
the
the
thing.
American
Our
people
karma is coming. Our karma, our abundance, our fruits of our labors are coming. You know, it's deserved. And you know, that's the whole thing. Jesus
Kathy's
needs to flip the
acting.
table. They're
Are the
flipping the
solar
table, hitting the switch, hitting the guidelines, whatever you want to call it, but the table needs to flip. That's what's happening.
Okay. Kathy's asking, are the solar flares happening lately dangerous to us? If so, how do we protect ourselves?
I don't feel it is. I
don't
think
see 'em as-
I don't think we're in the same world, and I don't think it's affecting us the same way, in any way like that. I think things have changed. It's just like, you know, me and Jeep have been talking about, so we 1 o'clock in the morning, because some of us never sleep, but we get these surge of, it's like a pass out surge of energy in your head, and it's intense, and it hasn't been that way before, and it's not a negative thing. It just feels like, because then you go into this slope of wanting to pass out. So, and that's that stasis again that Spirit has showed me. So they've been upgrading us for a year now.
What reality are we really on? Someone's asking.
Well, I think we're in between two stages. I think we can look one direction, see a different reality, and then we can look the other way and see a different one. So it depends on what you want to accept. I'm literally telling you, you might see double things, and you're going to see it older and then younger, and you're in your mind going, what's going on here? And you have to get to past that and go, okay, we're dealing with two different realities.
So I live in Australia, and I have noticed ships hovering around the chemtrails. Has anyone else witnessed this? I've read about it. I haven't witnessed it myself, but I read something to that effect, that there was a podcaster who used to say that some of the chemtrails that we were seeing weren't from regular planes, like they were from ET ships, bad ETs, of course. But I don't know what happened to that podcaster, because I haven't. He's been off a long time. Gets shut down enough times, and you just quit after a while. Oh, here, this is interesting. Okay. Alchemist Frequency Healer says, hi, really feels and seeing the split is here. The reality we know has shifted, not for everyone, but I'm watching it as it's like a remote viewing session. Anyone else agree?
Totally. It is completely across the board.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, distraction is always part of the game. Why do you keep asking about the car manufacturers? I don't know if I keep losing my place or keep seeing the same question. Somebody's asking, can mortgage companies foreclose on mortgages?
So.
I don't think they can do anything right now.
I think there was a couple months ago, they can't be removed, and they can't. So I think, no. I think you have to go back, but I think they signed something with that.
Oops, we lost a connection for a few
minutes. Because, the mortgages are fraudulent too. The mortgages are fraudulent the way they set it up. So,
and the student loans are fraudulent. Every bank loan is fraudulent. Every contract is fraudulent. They never told people about their corporate name, all cap name. So all that's fraud right there. And people have to stop paying taxes. Janet was saying people can't stop paying taxes. Ugh, they need to stop paying taxes.
I know.
Why are you funding child trafficking? That's what I would have to ask, because that's what you're doing. By paying those taxes, they're not, at least under, that's the way it used to be. Maybe it's changing, but well, it sounds like you're in a building of NPCs. It is weird how some days I don't see but one or two people at my apartment building all day, and nobody has anything of substance to say. Yucky place to be. One thing I will be doing is moving out of here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we all are moving.
Oh, okay, I didn't know anything about this. Breaking, thousands of people are experiencing a blackout in the Pentagon City in Washington. They don't call it Washington, D.C. anymore. They're calling it just Washington. But then we got two Washingtons, so I don't know why they, maybe it should be Washington number 2. Because D.C. was was foreign, owned and occupied. So, do you know that I was just reading today too, that they had several judges that were appointed by the bad guys that were, they weren't even born in America. They didn't have any judge experience at all.
I know. Isn't that nuts?
Oh my God. Huh?
Yeah. It's crazy.
We just keep finding out more and more all the time. It just doesn't quit.
Yeah, it's just the Pandora's box. It just keeps going and going and going.
I don't know. What would you say to this? Okay. Question. What do you do when your husband has a brain injury and extreme anxieties for a lifetime? Very negative most of the time. What do you do?
I would be using frequency on him. That's what I would do.
That's good, Jenny. I didn't even think of that right off the top of my head, but that's definitely a good idea. There are frequency patches. There are frequency. I have a frequency software. That somebody. Okay, here we go. This is interesting. I know someone in Arizona that received over $2,500. Wow. Good.
I think they're testing things and seeing how people are adapting to it, and then there's going to be other layers of it. So, and then they're going to move it all the way. So,
Nancy says the Alaskan pyramid is active. It's an ET base, and it's active. The pyramids have more than one use.
Yes, they do.
Weren't they part of the free energy grid before they reversed the ether? Or they've done something, put a layer over the natural ether and created a negative one?
I think they did that. And then, like I said, with the ley lines, I just want to see that activation between the ley lines and the pyramids.
That'll create a frequency that'll change things, correct?
Mm-hmm. Add a barrier.
Okay. Yeah, we only got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Left. Yeah. Now somebody's asking me if I'm teleporting out of here. I wish I could. I'd like to. I know it's constantly glitching. It never. I don't know. It's not done that before. I have no idea why it's doing it now.
So over the weekend, you're going to see some more activity, but and then I do believe, and I don't go by dates, but I do feel spiritually a movement towards the beginning of next week. They're going to lay out something that's that I think we all need to hear. And I think it's that process that's Spirit has said, it'll bring you to your knees. And it's just some relief of, oh, thank God, something that tells us the door's open, that the guidelines are there, and that we can see the light finally and feel a relief. Because that's what people want. They want to feel a relief. Just give them some type of a relief and a different way of energy and abundance that they deserve. Because you know what it is? People want to feel valued. They want to feel like they were used for the rest of the world. They want to feel like we get some, back.
We apply for help and we get denied.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And here we are helping all these other countries.
Yep.
But
exactly.
Not the Americans. Lynn brings up a good point. We want to make sure the states can't take the money away.
Well, the guidelines for the states are going to be pretty heavy. Good. They won't get money unless they do what they're supposed to do. So they don't have the keys to the quantum system.
Aren't they everybody's pretty much being washed?
Everything.
And they're watching everything that people are doing.
If you guys do not think you're being watched, I want you to watch your phone. Your phone, I just think something and then it's on my phone. I'm like, I didn't say it, but I just thought it. I'm just telling you things are changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying it's coming. Yeah, so the states are going to get their hands slapped, and they're going to be like, you'll get money when you go by the guidelines.
Okay. I think the doctors are going to be held responsible, too.
Oh, yeah. Their bank accounts are going to be cleared out.
Yeah, so much is all about the money. Everything's that way. It's unbelievable how much everything is that way.
Yeah. It is.
Well, Tammy wants to know if there's anything new to tell us.
Well, what I feel that's, they're going in with the pyramids. They're going in with the funding. They're going in with I think I want you to pay attention, Chinese elders, and look with the government and look at some of these people that are around the government now, because that money goes back to King David. There has, it has to be done on a fair basis too. So I'm just telling you that you got to watch your environment of who's around, not just the main focus they're trying to get you to pay attention to on this process. So I'm telling you, the council side of things is being formed in the government.
Wow, QFA figured it out. If we are 5 billion, some say we are, 200 million would be 1 out of 25. Well, actually, it would be 300 million altogether. If you counted the 200 and the 100, that would be 300 million altogether. So what would it be then? Don't ask me. I'd need a calculator.
But only the humans are going to get the money, just so you know.
Okay. Well, I guess, it's 1:29, so why don't we do our ring the bell for the children, and we're going to have to call it a day.
Okay.
Or a wrap, or whatever you want to call it.
I'll let you ring the bell this time. I'll be on this side, and you get to do it this time.
All righty then. Okay. Okay, this is for the children. I'll do it for 30 seconds. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Jenny, for your time and energy and input. And never forget, this all started because of the children. That's why we ring the bell. The children have been trafficked and have had horrible things done to them. And we're not going to be a species anymore if we don't get this under control.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's happening. And that's what matters the most.
Exactly.
Our humanity has no future.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want that to happen. So, all right, that's it. Stay in the light, shine your light.
Take care.
And take care. We'll see you again soon.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show